to You Like the Pros. I'm Terry Carter. Today is our Words of Wisdom, where I'm going to just kind of share with you some thoughts that have been going on in my mind over the last week, or different things that just come up. And today I want to talk about the topic, It's a Small World. And I'll explain more of that in just a second. But first of all, I just want to say thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing and subscribing and helping spread the word about You Like the Pros. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm doing fantastic. I just got home from church, and it's not only the church that I attend, which is the Mission de Alcala here in San Diego, but I also am in the band there. Pretty good band, actually. I volunteered my time, but we got some great players and great singers, and I play ukulele and guitar and bass sometimes, and I sing, and it's just a very, very great place to be, very powerful, so something that I look forward to always doing. Now, today's topic is a small world. I read a lot of books, something that is very important to me, and I was trying to find exactly where I got some of these ideas from, but I think it might have been the Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, but it could be several other books. I'm reading them a couple at a time, so they kind of blend sometimes where the quotes come from. But one of the books was talking about when you're out meeting people and talking to people and you're just out in the world, how you always want to bring value is a word that they use to other people's life, or enrich other people's life. Doesn't matter if it's your spouse or your children or your family or your neighbor or the person working at Starbucks, or someone you just meet at the grocery store. And it's really changed the way I think about things is when I meet people, and it's treating people how I want to be treated. And I've always been fairly good at this, but it's something I've really focused in on more in the last few weeks, last couple months, is when I meet new people, and I do meet quite a bit of people, especially when I'm at the beach. The ukulele is a great instrument to draw people in. They hear it, they want to come and talk to you. When people see me doing the live videos, they always want to come and either before or after and talk to me about it. So I meet a lot of people, and I've really been trying to focus my attention on whoever I meet. Eye contact, attentive, asking them questions, trying to the best I can to make them feel that they're important people, and and that they have something to share with me. If not, why would they come up and talk to me? And it's really been something that has helped me just develop better relationships with people. So I can't tell you how many times I meet people at the beach. Like I mentioned yesterday, there was a family sitting there watching me do my video, and the guy came up to me afterwards and introduced himself, and we were talking, and he's a guitar player and plays with a little ukulele and is the local guy, and wanted to see if he could come and play with me the following week. So absolutely. So just making those connections. My wife has pointed out that when I talk to customer service, when I have to call Verizon, who I was having a big issue with yesterday, and different companies I'm talking to the customer service, that I've been changing the way I talk to them, being very respectful to them, not yelling at them, not even trying to get mad at them, but treating them very respectfully, because they are people and they are just as important and worthy as I am. And it's funny how it's changed how people perceive you when you kind of let that confidence out. And and I notice when I'm walking around my neighborhood that sometimes you look at people and they just look down and look away, they don't even look at you. But then all of a sudden recently, because I've been changing my outlook, people now a lot of times look up at me and they say hi even before I have a chance to. And so it's things are just, it's changing. It's really a weird thing how that happens. So what brought me to the point of today's topic was It's a Small World, which I know you probably recognize that when you run into somebody you haven't known or seen for a long time in the weirdest places. Maybe not even, maybe you're out of town and you meet someone somewhere, or, just, all kinds of strange things. I'm sure we all have our experiences with that. But 2 weeks ago, I was at the beach and I got introduced to a couple, a guy named Michael and his wife, Sugar. And he was a professional surfer and lived in Hawaii and lived where I surf near Cardiff. And Sugar came over to me. They were both drawn to me because of the ukulele, and she makes ukuleles. She makes real high quality, one at a time ukuleles. And so we had that connection. We started talking, and they weren't able to stick around for the live video that day, but we talked for 10 or 15 minutes and kind of just had a real nice conversation and had a good time. So when was it? Friday, a couple days ago, I was down at Balboa Park, one of the great parks here in San Diego. They got a lot of museums, really beautiful place, right next to the zoo. And we like to go down there on Friday nights. They're doing this cool thing where they have food trucks come down, and that night the park lights up, and it's really cool. Although we haven't seen it at night because the kids are too young. We got to get them home before it's dark, but it's still fun to go down there, eat food, walk around, see the people. There's musicians down there, bands, just all kinds of stuff. So it's really fun. Well, we were heading back home, and we decided to stop off they have a little kid park there, right where our car was parked. So we said, let the kids play, because the kids are really getting into the swings, and they like the slides, and they just like running around on the sand, and they've been starting to interact with other kids. My kids are 15 months old, so it's really kind of cool seeing them grow and stuff like that. So we were there at the park 5 or 10 minutes, and all of a sudden this couple comes over to me and they're like, "Hey, aren't you the ukulele guy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then of course, it took me a second, but I processed that it was the same couple, Michael and Sugar, that I had met 2 weeks previously at Cardiff, which is a good 25 miles away, totally different city. And it was cool because it was like we picked up that conversation that we had 2 weeks ago, and because we had that nice conversation 2 weeks ago at the beach and it was engaging, and we made that connection, here all of a sudden 2 weeks later they see me again and they come up and we talk and we have another good 5-minute conversation talking about music and the kids and Balboa Park, and it was really kind of a cool thing. And it got me thinking too, that happened because of the interaction that when we first met. If I was like too busy to talk to them back then, like, oh, I'm going live or I gotta hit the water, and just got out of there and didn't take that 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it was to just kind of engage with them and talk to them, when they saw me later, there wouldn't have been that connection. And so it just made me think right at that time, and I knew that's what I wanted to talk about today, was that it's just such a small world, because you never know who that person is that you're going to meet, whether it be at the beach or at the grocery store or at the office or at, on a convention or in a different country, that, could end up becoming your best friend, a business partner, maybe, a spouse, or just an acquaintance. I mean, it doesn't matter what they become necessarily, but you never know who that person is, because you can't always just look at somebody and determine, oh, that person's cool or that person's rich or poor or whatever whatever it is, you can't determine that just by looking at someone. So you have to engage them and talk to them, and then you never know, that person could become your best friend for life. And so anyway, it just got me thinking about this, and I thought it was something that everyone's, I'm sure, experienced it, and I'd love to hear from you too. I mean, as soon as I told my parents about this, of course, they had like stories upon stories about people they've met and went to high school with and saw 30 years later in a different country, and so I'm sure we all have this experience, but it's just something that I'm working on, just becoming a more engaging person to strangers, and it paid off. And in this case, it just paid off because it was cool to have that acquaintance again that I met, and now hopefully, we'll be connected in some other way, and, we'll meet up again with them, and we'll have that. Now it's not just, oh, I met this person. Now we've met a couple times, and you never know where that relationship could take you. So, all right, that's the point of my story today. It's a small world. Thank you for being here. If you enjoy me or any of my content, don't forget you can check out the premium ukulele stuff I have going on at ukulelegthepros.com. And on that note, we'll take you out here with a little Hawaiian sounding intro, and then we'll see you next time.